And before I call Ms. Bowman, I did mention our hardworking county employees, but I want to specifically recognize our Fire Chief, Mark Bayshore, if you can raise your hand, and Major George Nader of our police department, District 3 here for our police department, and he's the commander of that particular district and has worked really hard here. So at this time, I'd like to call Ms. Bowman to the podium.
Okay, good morning. First of all, thank you so much for being here. And I'd like for people that are currently members of the Bradbury Heights Civic Association to raise your hand. All right. So I thank you for being here. I told my husband they were going to give me a microphone, and he says, oh, no. Okay, first I'd like to thank the residents for being here to witness what will be done here today. I'd also like for you to know that the Civic Association has constantly fought to get this blight out of our neighborhood. We got promises, and then we got broken promises. But we never gave up because we knew we didn't deserve this. We are taxpayers. And voters. Okay, and so now that it's happening, I'd like to first thank Joanne Benson. She's been the wind beneath our wing. She cried out when we were on that bus tour. I thought she had fainted. She fell back in the seat, and she says, this has got to go. Councilmember Karen Tolles, who said to hang in there and give her a chance to review. She has communicated with us and given us updates and assured us that this was going to happen. And then to the County Executive Baker and his staff, who I know put a lot of work into this project. They also asked for time to review all the promises and all the parties involved. He sent members of his staff to our Civic Association to give us updates on progress, and then we got the promises. And a shout out to Mr. Thagard. He was that person that he sent to our Civic Association, and he's been really great communicating. So thank you very much. Then County Baker picked up this area in the Transforming Initiative, and as an active neighborhood activist, I can see and appreciate the things that are being done. Thank you to the police department and all the other county agencies involved. So now, here's where I go with this. So I started with the residents, and I'd like to challenge the residents now to be all that you can be. Do all that you can do. We have a great neighborhood. And passing out flyers throughout this neighborhood, there are beautiful houses in this area. And there are people that have lived here for 30, 40, 50 years. It's a wonderful neighborhood. I hear some young people sometimes refer to it as the hood. Now, I've told a few of them that I don't live in the hood. That's right. It's the bad behavior, the criminal behavior, and people that would throw trash in the street. Now, after I've picked up the trash, and I do pick up the trash on my street, and I always say to people, pick the trash up in front of your house and go in front of the next house if that person isn't picking the trash up. Don't have that much pride that you can't pick up some trash on the street that you live on. So after I pick up the trash, and those that disturb the neighborhoods are not around, the ones that call it the hood, the houses are very quiet. And that's not the hood. So don't pay attention. So pay attention to the behavior and don't be part of it. I wanted to steal a thing from the current campaign that's going on, and I'm at that age that every once in a while I forget it. What's the one about? Yes.
President Obama, girl.
Fired up
Ready to go.
and ready to go. And that's what I like for the neighborhood. It's a beautiful neighborhood, and it can be beautiful again. And all those memories that all of the older people in the area have of the neighborhood, it can be that way again. But each of us have to do what we can do. And thank you so very much to Prince George's County. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll move to the next part here by saying fired up, ready to go, tear it down. Thank you. Well, first let me say that the process of taking down these 26 buildings will take about 6 weeks. Okay, so they won't all come down today, but they will be coming down over the next 6 weeks. And then, you know, it's really going through a redevelopment process, of course, reaching out to the community and getting their input as to what they would like to see here, and then working to make that happen. So there will be some community will be able to give input on what they would like to see happen, and it's fully our plans at this point to redevelop the area.
So at this point, you don't know if you're leaning toward shopping or residences. Don't know. It's going to be up to.
Right. We need to reach out to the community first.
If I can just say this, Tracy, if I can just say this real quick. I mean, one of the things that's great about the Transforming Neighborhoods Initiative is that we're already meeting with the communities. Part of what Aubrey Thacker is doing is meeting with the community right now, assessing what the needs are, and working with the community to determine what's the best use to fit in with that, as President Bowman said, you know, with the beauty of this community and bringing it back to life. I mean, just think about it. You have great houses right next door to the District of Columbia. This right here is the cutting edge of economic development, so we're already starting to do that, and once we develop it, having something really great here. Aaron, you want to add anything?
I mean, absolutely. You know, I can't say it. I can't say it any better than what County Executive said. The fact that you have your leaders here today, the County Council is committed to making sure that we transform, working with the County Executive, making sure that we truly transform. That just does not mean tearing down. That means putting up quality development. That means accessing our metro stations. We have 15, and we are committed to making sure that we thrive economically in Prince George's County. And with County Executive Baker, with the County Council under Chairwoman Andrea Harrison, we are moving this county forward. So we will put something up, whatever the community want, put it up and transform this neighborhood fully. So thank you.
Scott, do you got? You can answer that one. Oh, okay. It's first of all, we're going to tear it down. We're going to work with the community to determine what's going to be here. So it is going to take some time. But the main thing is, during that period of time, and Brad Seaman has assured me that while this is down, the perimeter still will be secure to make sure that nothing, that crime does not go on here, and this is not a place for people just to congregate. So that's right. That is the promise to the community. There's no longer going to be a haven where people can duck in and out. With that, thank you. Let's go tear a building down.
That's all right.
Did you know that 65% of all home fire deaths happen in homes that either have no smoke alarms or the smoke alarms that are present are not working? You need working smoke alarms in your home to give you an early warning to get out in a fire. Here is some important information for you on smoke alarms from the National Fire Protection Association. When buying a smoke alarm, make sure it has the label of an independent testing laboratory. For the best protection, you should have both photoelectric and ionization type smoke alarms. A photoelectric alarm is more responsive to smoldering fires, like a fire started by a discarded cigarette. An ionization alarm is more responsive to flaming fires, such as a grease fire on the stove. There are smoke alarms available that are both photoelectric and ionization. Look for features that are important to you, such as a hush button to temporarily silence a nuisance alarm, or an alarm that can be tested using the television remote control. You need a smoke alarm in every bedroom, outside each sleeping area, and on every level of your home, including the basement. Interconnect the smoke alarms so that when one sounds, they all sound. Smoke alarms can be interconnected through your electrical system by a qualified electrician, or wireless interconnected smoke alarms are now available that you can install yourself. Test all your smoke alarms at least once a month by pushing the test button like this. Replace batteries in all your smoke alarms, both hardwired and battery operated, once a year or when the alarm chirps indicating a low battery. If your smoke alarm is more than 10 years old, it's time to replace it. Working smoke alarms in the home will give you the early warning you need to get out in a fire. Test your smoke alarms today to make sure they are working.
I mean, yeah, you can say it's an unusual hobby. And yeah, I've had people laugh at me, but I don't care. I just love collecting air. People always say the world's like 80% water, right? That means the world has to be like 90% air. It's just science.
Think it's weird to collect air? You wouldn't think so if you saw what your lungs collect every time you breathe.
People can make fun of me all they want, but I choose to see the glass half full of air.
Protect your health with life-saving air quality updates from the American Lung Association. Get our free state-of-the-air app at lung.org.
Wow, we had a big group of preschoolers visiting the station today. They were really great kids, and I think they learned a lot about fire safety. I've got a couple of kids myself, and I do worry about them. That's because very young children have a higher risk of getting burned, and not just by fire. The kitchen is an especially dangerous area. From the time my kids were little, I taught them to stay well away from the stove. Kids can suffer terrible burns by reaching up and touching a burner or pulling a hot pot down onto themselves. A smart way to prevent that kind of tragedy is to measure a kid-free zone all around the stove and cooktop. We let our kids mark the borders with bright tape until they learn the distance by heart. Make the zone at least 3 feet so the cook has plenty of space and the kids are out of danger from spills. It's not easy raising children. Having a kid-free zone gives parents one less thing to worry about. Of course, we still need to keep a close eye on them. That's my cue. I gotta run.